Hello and thank you very much for staying tuned to the Nigerian Television Authority. My name is Cecil Egbele and you're watching the Medley Show. All right, today on the Medley Show, we will be talking food. Yeah, talking food right now. We're not really talking about how to prepare your food, how to prepare your akara, your rice, your beans, and the others. Well, of course, maybe in the course of the discussion, we will get to mention a thing or two about it. But the focus will be on food preservation and, of course, processing. Processing and preservation of food will be the focus today. Now, we want to look at so many of the different ways we can preserve our food. Of course, now we know for some people they will say, oh, there is no power to put the food in the fridge. I cook so much. So how can I do? How can I preserve it? It's going to go bad. All right, the different ways we can get to preserve our food in the absence of what we would have preferred will be what we'll be talking about on the program today. Next, we will also be looking at the different preservation methods, the drying, the salting, the freezing, and the others. Yes, we'll get to talk about it. Another very interesting one is some of the myths. You know that thing they say, microwaving food causes cancer. I don't know if you've heard that. Anyhow, some of the myths about food and food preservation and processing, well, I would like to hear from you on our phone line. Of course, you know our phone line, which is a text and WhatsApp only number, and that is 0805 081 100 08 2020 081 177 8 2020. That is our phone line. Some of the myths about food preservation, we will be talking about it. Okay, we went on the streets. I sought to know from people out there what some of the myths about food preservation that they've heard.
I find if it's for cooked foods, any food that has vegetable inside it, I find it difficult to preserve because most times if the vegetable gets weak, if it is a live vegetable, if it gets weak, it spoils very fast. Unless you wrap it in a newspaper or any paper and put in the freezer. But when it's cooked and it's getting old, it spoils very fast. Even when it's in the freezer, if there is a little light, if light seizes a little, it gets spoiled very fast.
I'm not sure about foods because I think whatever type of food that is kept under room temperature is likely to take a little while, to be preserved for a little while. And with the presence of refrigerators and everything, I think soups are more challenging to preserve. Soups, stew, and all our traditional soups. I think that should be more challenging. Though this would be a better question for ladies. For someone like me who doesn't really take much of his time cooking, I just have a little to no experience, honestly.
There was a time I prepared fried rice, so I kept it in the cooler. I didn't know I was not supposed to keep it in the cooler for that long. And I was thinking it's going to be very okay when I open it like in the evening, but it was not okay. It was already drying. So that's why I think fried rice is very, very difficult to preserve till the next day.
Okay, for beans, for me, my experience is I once cooked beans in the morning and left it till night. You get it? Left it till night, probably to come and eat it at night. But when I came in, because it was closed, when I opened this, I started perceiving a kind of different odor because that is beans. Beans is very delicate. So I feel beans is very hard to preserve. It's something that you just cook and you eat it immediately. Yes.
Preserving fruits for a long time, it's not easy. It's not easy. Keeping it to the fridge, especially when you want to keep maybe banana for a long time or a watermelon. It has this smell or maybe the taste changes. So that's the only thing. But other food, no, I don't think so. Except maybe it's fresh fish. Fresh fish, like for fresh fish now, basically we can use salt. We can use salt, but you don't expect me to continue using salt.
There was a time I made pasta, that is spaghetti. It was big. So the amount of people that ordered spaghetti that day was like little. So I thought I could like preserve it inside my fridge the next day because income was very low. So I was trying to like manage myself. So the next day, I tried to bring out the pasta and warm it. I couldn't even taste it. It was so gummy. And
it was not really nice.
When I stock food at home and I get beans, the beans usually got spoiled by weevils, that is the small insects inside the beans. So I usually find it hard to preserve it. So due to the weevil, I stopped stocking beans at home. So when I want to cook, I usually go to market to buy the one I need immediately to use.
I've tried to preserve cabbage, but I discovered that even after making the salad, it's always difficult to have it fresh, especially later part after using it. The next, maybe like toward evening, if I want to go back to eat and eat again, I discovered that the content, it will lose its content, and secondly, the smell, it will start smelling on its own. It comes with this kind of horrible smell like that.
Basically, the food I find difficult to preserve are something like rice, spaghetti, noodles. I can't preserve that. So at the point of cooking, I cook just the amount I know I can eat at that time. But anything swallow like egusi, draw, and the rest, yeah, I can preserve them till the next day.
There are a few of them really. Number one that I find difficult in preserving is lettuce. You know the vegetable? Lettuce. Lettuce is so difficult to preserve. You know, when I get lettuce, they say, oh, put it inside a Ziploc and put it in the refrigerator and all of that. But it doesn't really work with lettuce, and I don't know why. I find it so difficult preserving lettuce. I wish I can get somebody to teach me how to preserve it.
All right, so preservation, very challenging. Some of those people said, actually, I have that problem too. Yeah, the last one, lettuce. I don't really know how to preserve lettuce. Another one I have challenge with is cabbage. Then, for some reasons, I don't know. Okay, no, it's embarrassing to say I don't know how to preserve tomatoes very well. Should I say it on air? Should I not say it? Anyhow, so that's it. It's time for us to talk about these and many more, and it's time to meet my guest. And my guest is a chef. She is a chef instructor and an instructor, a chef tutor and an instructor, and she does this at the Mastermind Catering and Culinary Institute. Her name is Chef Rasheedat Jibril. Rasheedat, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Chef Rasheedat, how many hours are you trying to do to break? What record are you trying to break, and how many hours are you trying to do?
I don't think I'm ready for that.
You should be able to do 200 hours. I don't know, really. I wonder how you... you should try something sometime,
yeah,
you know.
I will. Very soon.
Very soon.
Yeah, very
All right,
soon.
so guys, watch out. She's going to trend on Twitter very soon. All right, we just came from that Vox Pop from the streets. People talked about some of the challenges of foods that they find difficult preserving. Let's start from the last person. She mentioned vegetables like lettuce. Yes, so really, how would you advise us to preserve vegetables like that and others?
Okay. Vegetables generally are a bit difficult to preserve. A bit, not really. They are a bit difficult to preserve. Yes. It depends on temperature. Preservation depends on temperature. And for microorganisms to be active, it needs moist and air.
All right, speak it in English. That's my fridge. That's my fridge fits into that.
Yes. Yeah,
so when you put it in the fridge, do I wrap it in a Ziploc, a nylon bag, or a paper bag before putting it in the fridge, or I just put it in?
Not just a Ziploc. You'll be needing a kitchen roll, like something like tissue, or an old newspaper.
Okay.
You just wrap the vegetables in it. All you need to do, when you get them from the market, wash it properly. Then you make sure you tap them dry with your napkin, clean napkin. Then you wrap them in an old newspaper, or you use your kitchen roll. You wrap them properly. Then you use your Ziploc or a nylon bag that air cannot penetrate. And when you do that, you try as much as possible to extract the air before
Yeah,
locking.
zipping
Before
it.
locking, yes. Either a nylon bag or the Ziploc.
Okay.
You just
did
put
you
it in the
just
fridge.
Did you initially mention that moist? It needs moist.
No,
It
moisture
doesn't.
affects your level of spoilage
Okay.
in vegetable.
So I should try to make sure I don't have.
You don't have moisture.
Okay, that's for vegetables. Whether
vegetable.
it is a foriro,
Yes.
I mean a green vegetable or
Lettuce,
ugu, the others.
all of them.
Ah, so now you know what to do when you have those vegetables and you are looking for best way to preserve them. You do that, put it in the fridge. I know,
Yes, in the fridge.
and for those who don't have kitchen rolls, you say you can use
Old
old
newspapers.
newspaper. Yeah, so as much as possible, we'll try to break it down to the different levels and that we can do. So for those who can afford or can't afford, but power holdings, popularly called NEPA, they're really not smiling these days, you know. Yes, I understand from July 1 the tariff will be increased, and I mean, so anyhow, long story. Sometimes the fridge may not be working, or I don't have a fridge working. What do I do?
If you don't have a fridge working, it's just best you buy according to what you need at that moment. Because those vegetables are readily available at all time.
Okay, what about, we buy this vegetable, dry vegetables. Sometimes, yeah, they will tell you buy dry vegetable, you want to use to soak it. So can I buy the vegetable and I just dry it?
You know, it's good for you to use dry vegetables, but sometimes nutrients are lost in the process of drying. Yes.
The process of drying. How? Nothing. It's just drying.
Evaporation is taking place. When you put out vegetables out in the sun for them to dry, all the liquid inside the vegetable, as the sun is hitting them, they are evaporating into the air. So to you, okay, I'm trying to preserve it, you just bring them back in and pack them somewhere.
And they say I should soak them in water when I want to use them. Won't the nutrients come back?
They are not coming back.
Okay.
Any nutrient lost in vegetables, they are not coming back.
Okay, let's look at tomatoes. These are another one that gets spoiled pretty easy.
Tomatoes, preservation, freezer, yeah, very well. Another way you can preserve your tomatoes is when you get them, wash, boil, cook them, and just pack them in an airtight container.
Yeah, for those of us who like chopping our tomatoes, we don't really like grinding them.
Yeah, there's a way you can dry, but not with the sun.
Not with the sun.
Not with the sun. There is a dryer, vegetable dryer, for all of that. It uses electricity too.
Yeah, but there are simpler ways for the person who can't afford this. I like looking at other options. But like you say, we should just buy what we can consume.
Yes, just make use of your recipe.
You know that kind of thing. I'm coming from Jos, and I saw this tomato so cheap, I just had to chatter it. When I got home now, I don't know how to preserve it.
Okay, let's leave electricity out. Preservation for tomatoes, the local way we can just use to preserve our tomatoes. When you get them, wash them properly with salt. Then we have them blended. Then put them on heat to remove the excess liquid.
Yeah.
After that, you get these Bama bottles.
Oh, those airtight bottles.
Yes, you just pack them in. For you to be sure that there will be no presence of bacteria, when you pack them in, you just drop them in a pot of boiling water. You allow it to boil for like 3 minutes. Bring it out and store them. Even without fridge, you're good for like up to 6 or 1 year.
Wait, did you hear what she said? Please, just recap that one very quickly and very easily. I buy the tomatoes,
Wash
I
with
wash
salt,
it, I blend it, I
cook to remove excess water.
cook to remove excess water.
Then you get your Bama bottles.
Yeah, any airtight bottles. Yeah,
you pack them in.
Pack them in.
Have a pot on fire. Allow the water to boil. Put them in for like 3 minutes. Bring it out.
No, is that end part? That's part of putting it in the pot for 3 minutes. I've already boiled it and it's thick already.
The reason why you do that is to help to lock up the seal properly, so that there won't be any penetration of air into it that will cause the presence of bacteria.
Wow, okay, I've just learned something. Please, if you're like me, let's go try this at home. You know that thing, you say don't try this at home, but do try this at home. Okay, that's nice. Still on that Vox Pop we watched, someone mentioned that one of the food that she finds difficult preserving is fried rice. Fried rice is difficult. Like I'll tell people, it's one of the quick poisons you can take because there are vegetables in it. And somehow, I've attended the party and the reception started late. By the time I started serving the food,
rice is
it was slimy, it was already smelling off. So what could have gone wrong and what's the best way to get around it?
Okay, from your preparation of fried rice, anything can go wrong. The best way to prepare your fried rice for it not to easily get spoiled is you don't parboil your rice.
You don't parboil your rice?
Yes, you wash with some salt, then you fry. You fry it dry.
I wash with salt, then I put in an empty pot or pan.
Yes,
and
in an empty pot with little vegetable oil. Then you just fry
the raw rice.
When you fry, you allow it to get crispy. Then you can now add in your stock and other things. After adding your stock, you allow it to cook. Then your vegetables, you don't add them along with the rice. You stir fry your vegetables separately. You stir fry your vegetables separately. Then when the rice is properly cooked to tender, then you add in the quantity of vegetables you need. Then you stir, season and serve. That way you have it stays longer. When you even have it for parties, you can even just cook the rice without the vegetables. You take it to your party. You have already stir fried your vegetables somewhere. Then when you get to your party, when you're about to serve, then you just add in the vegetables and
they
stir.
You cannot stir like in the flax or in the cooler.
You have everything fresh. Instead of adding in all the vegetables at the end of the day, on getting to the party, your green beans is already changing color, your green pepper, all of that, they're already changing color. So you still have them fresh. No matter how long you have the rice out, you still have them fresh. You just pour them in and serve.
Wow, Chef Rashidat has just given us some tips on how to preserve our food, whether vegetable, and now she's talked about rice. I hope you're learning a thing or two. Please do send us a message on our phone line 081 177 2020. Tell us what are some of the challenges you have about food preservation that you'd like us to address on the program, or what are some of the myths about food preservation you've heard and you would like us to demystify for you on the program. And if you've learned something from Chef Rashidat, please do send us a message to that effect.
It's also one of the most popular Hausa cuisines we have here. Masa made from rice, some made it from even maize and some flour and rice. It's fried. This is the dambu we have. Dambu is made from rice also. You ground it partially, then you mix it with some veggies and onions with some seasonings, then you cover it and steam it. After steaming, then it's ready to eat. This one is bula. Some call it tuwon ruwa and some call it bula, but we label it here as tuwon bula. It's made from millet. You make a thick paste of millet just like kunu, pap, then you cook it like tuwo. After cooking, you make these balls and then boil it also inside water.
Anyị nwere abacha ebe a. Abacha dị ebe a dị ụzọ abụọ. Nke ofu bụ abacha agwọrọ naanị abacha. Nke ọzọ bụ abacha akịdị dị n'ime ya. So ihe ndị ọzọ ya n'elu bụ ihe ndị eji chọọ ya mma. Anụ dị ya, azụ dị ya, akwụkwọ dịkwa ya, na alibọsa dị ya. bụ ihe eji were dozie ya. So anyị na-eji na-eri ma anyị chọrọ iri nri na-agaghị ejide ahụ anyị nke buru ibu, like anyị erie ya na mgbede maọbụ n'ụtụtụ maọbụ n'ehihie. Ala Igbo niile na-eri ya. Beti ndị ma nke eji emetụ ya ka ọ dị mma bụ ndị Enugu steeti.
And olive, yeah, it goes with the white rice.
Tuo alebo, you know alebo is cassava, pure cassava, dried cassava, milled and made in this form. This is pounded yam, made from yam. Everybody knows pounded yam all over the world. That is the main staple food in Benue. We have okoho soup. Okoho soup is particularly for the Idomas. If you look over there, the lady sitting there in the red and black material is an Idoma lady being represented here. This is their major soup, okoho, eaten with any of the swallows. Eléyìí a lè pè ní àsálà, a lè pè ní àwùsá. Tí a bá ti pa, èso tó wà nínú ẹ̀ ó funfun. Tá a bá jẹ, ó dáa gan fún ọkàn, ó máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún ọkàn. Ẹ ti rí dòdò kan lẹ́ẹ̀kan, oríṣi dòdò míì rèé. Dòdò eléyìí la pè ní dòdò ìkirè. Dòdò tí àkọ́kọ́ yẹn, tí ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ bá ti pọ́n, tó pọ́n níwọ̀nba, àfi ń dírun dòdò yẹn. Dòdò ìkirè, tí ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ bá pọ́n dáadáa, tó dẹ̀, a máa fi ń dín dòdò ìkirè.
The shrimps and a big fish broth, stock, a fish stock, and a mix with garlic, persil, fresh persil, and dry sweet pepper from Spain also. We take it, and some seafoods, nothing else.
Okay, so that was that feature. That was actually the Nihoto Food Festival, and the last chef you just saw, the chef Alex, is a Spanish chef. He came all the way from Spain for that festival. You were there, right?
Yes.
Okay, so exactly what did you do there? You just went food testing?
Exhibition.
Oh, you had an exhibition. You had a stand too.
Yes.
Oh, now what did you exhibit?
A lot of local food.
Local food from
like
different.
we made some infusion.
When you say we, mastermind?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Some infusion of Italian to Nigerian.
Like which? Like what did you exactly? Italian to an Italian cuisine.
Italian, Spanish. We now
Nigerianize it. Hey,
yes.
Nigerian, Akashona, Sef. Exactly what? Tell me one of such.
Like risotto.
Risotto
is a Spanish meal. So instead of using the risotto rice, we now use our own millet. We now made the millet risotto instead of the risotto rice. So we now use millet to make the risotto.
Okay, that's cool. I think there should be some kind of food exchange. I mean, where you travel there, they come around here, and we try to do stuff like that. It's really gonna be good. And you know, Nigerians are very creative in many ways. You know, I've asked these questions before that, okay, let's go off this now. You know, sometimes we cook our rice like on festive season, we cook the rice, we have leftover of rice. How can I repackage that rice to make it look fresh and different? Maybe it's white rice and stew, so we're done eating, we still have a little more. We want to eat it the next day, but we don't want to eat our white rice and stew. How can I make cooked rice to be like my Wari friends will say, how can I renovate the rice?
Okay, let's say you have white rice and you don't want to eat white rice. You can just make a tomato sauce. Your rice is cooked already. You can just make a tomato sauce, then add in the rice, put it on low heat, and stir.
Put it on low heat and stir.
On low heat and stir. You just allow it to steam up a bit. Then you've converted it from white rice to jollof rice.
Okay. All right, so let's get back to our common food preservations. Berries and cherries. Yes. Sister, that is how I was coming back from Jos. So I saw berries. So I said, these berries are good. The prices are good. Now I chartered them. I got home. Next thing, I put it in the fridge. But next thing, I was feeling that they were already getting slimy and all. Tell me, what did I do wrong? What could we do in situations like that?
It's not supposed to be in the fridge. It's supposed to be in the freezer.
I didn't get the manual.
It's supposed to be in the freezer. You have it all year round.
Freezer, so I freeze it.
You freeze it.
So when I want to eat it, I just...
When you have it in the freezer, you might not want to eat it like that because it's frozen.
Yeah.
All you need to do with it is make smoothies, juice, and all of that. But when it's fresh, we get to have them eating fresh like that. But when it's frozen, it's not easy to eat like that. But for preservation purpose, you just have it in the freezer.
Okay, because someone says that he bought a carton of those and says the daughter will be taking it to school every day. So how is it supposed I don't know. All right.
You can't preserve fruits for that long. The moment they stay in the fridge, let's say max 3 days, they are off.
They're off. Yeah, I noticed I'm not wondering what's happened. I mean,
no matter how long the temperature of your fridge is stable, but 3 days,
how about
they're
for
already
grapes?
Same. They're already going off. Fruits generally. The moment they stays in the fridge 3-4 days, they're already going off.
Let's look at that uncle that can be very difficult. Banana and plantain. I will just buy banana. I just keep banana. Before we blink and open, it's already turning brown.
Okay, for banana and plantain, the best thing you should do, you don't buy them when they are totally ripe from the market. You buy them halfway ripe, then you can have them stay longer for you. Then you put in the fridge. Because when they are stored in cold places, the ripening level tends to reduce.
Okay.
But when they have heat, in the next 24 hours, they're already getting ripe. So you just buy not too ripe, halfway ripe. Then you just come and put them in your fridge. Then when you need them to ripen immediately, remove from the fridge, wrap them and keep them where at a room temperature. Then they get to just ripen up.
Does that also work with pear?
Yes, very well.
Pear.
Very well.
That's another very stubborn
very stubborn vegetable.
It's a vegetable.
Fruit.
Oh, it's a fruit,
yes.
Yeah, that's another one because I noticed that, sometimes when the body is brown, doesn't mean that the inside is already brown.
Sometimes when the body is brown, that's when you get the butter really comes out very well. That you can use to make something you have with bread.
Okay, let's just, I'm learning a lot on this show. Thanks, my able chef. I'm Judith, watching from Imo State, Owerri, precisely. All right, so Judith appreciates what you're doing. Who is this? Please, you didn't write your name. Please, the tomato she talked about, is it when it's cold or hot? One will dish inside the Bama bottle or not? Do you get the question? Okay, please, just note that. Let me take one more so you answer them together. Okay, this next one says, good afternoon. Can one top up oil in the Bama bottle and seal it? So these are the two questions. Take it quickly.
When you top up oil in the Bama bottle and seal, there will be growth of fungi on the surface of the tomato.
No, but I thought they said...
That was olden days. Ooh. I don't know where our parents got that science from. I personally have tried it. After blending the tomato, I had a lot of oil on it.
Yes, I've tried it, I remember.
And there was molds growing on it.
Yes. So
it doesn't work. Some people will tell you salt. All those things don't work because molds will definitely grow because salt releases moisture. The moment that moisture is being released, those bacteria gets to grow on the surface of the tomato.
Okay, so that takes us to the first question that asked if it's cold or hot.
When it's cold.
When
you
cold.
remove from heat, when it's cold, you just pack up in your Bama bottles.
Okay, so you heard that when it's cold. Hello, my name is Divine. All right, so is this other person? Oladele. Okay, yeah, the person who asked the question about cold or hot is Oladele from here in Abuja. Someone is asking about carrots. How are carrots and peas preserved? C from Abuja. Carrots and peas.
Carrots, you can do, when you get your carrots, when you really want to preserve them for a longer time, you don't wash. You just pack them up in an airtight bag. With the sand and everything, you just pack them up in an airtight bag.
You don't remove the
bag. No, you don't remove. You just pack them up in an airtight bag. Then you store them in the fridge. Then when you wash and cut, that's when you can have them in the freezer.
Oh.
While for peas, you can blanch and put them in the freezer. Blanching is just boiling. Then you add up baking soda. That will help to retain the color. Then you just put it in the freezer. It can last you weeks.
Okay, thanks. We're learning a whole lot. David, you didn't write where you're writing from. He's asking, how can we preserve banana? She's told you already, when you buy it, just like plantain, you can put it in the fridge so that it will delay the ripening process.
Level.
And when you're ready, you take it out but just sometimes when you take it out, it's already brownish at the back.
When you get the one that is not 100% ripe, it doesn't brown.
Oh, it doesn't brown. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's take the feature I called earlier, the background feature on the food preservation. All right. We'll take that and then I'll take more of your messages. Keep your messages coming in and I will read them as I see them.
Humans will continue to eat regardless of the economy, but the safety of these foods is another major concern. This is why the World Health Organization and the Food and Agriculture Organization declared June 7 every year as World Food Safety Day. The volume of global food consumption has been increasing since 2015. According to more findings, it's reached 2.5 billion metric tons in 2021, having bread and cereal products as the largest category of consumption. The safety of the food being consumed will involve careful understanding of the processes involved in food management, from planning to coordinating the duties to oversee the activities of food service, kitchen managers, and cooking staff. Aside management of food, the preservation cannot be overlooked. It is important to treat and handle food in such a way as to stop or slow down spoilage and prevent foodborne illness while maintaining nutritional value, texture, and flavor.
The harder that you keep your food in the fridge will be that the very ones that could get contaminated be placed on top, while the ones that could spread the bacteria, which is things like your fresh fish, your fresh chicken, your turkey, the shrimps, all those ones goes down so that the water from there do not drop in your cooked food. So what you do is fresh foods, fruits and vegetables, then up to cooked food. That is how you align it in the fridge so that there won't be food communication. So you don't have to be going to the in and out of hospital each time. You keep yourself safe.
When foods are preserved well, germs do not grow easily, and that makes it safe for consumption. The oldest forms of preservation are drying, refrigeration, and fermentation, while modern methods include canning, pasteurization, freezing, and the addition of chemicals. These are some of the reasons the World Food Safety Day continues to draw attention and tends to inspire action to help prevent, detect, and manage foodborne risks.
This is a dried bitter leaf. I've had it now for months and it's still there. By the time I want to cook it, it's in. By the time I want to cook it, I soak it in the water and give it some wetness and life. By the time you cook it, it comes as dough. You just add your fresh bitter leaf. Another one is the dry, we call this knife. You see how dry it is? But by the time I put it inside, soak it inside water, what I do with this is I soak it overnight inside water. I've also gotten this one like months. It's been like, I think almost 5 months now. So I put this in the dry water, soak it overnight. By the time I'm ready to cook, it's all swollen like the regular ones will buy in the market, and it's fresh and sweet, just the same taste. I can still carry this on up to a year and more if I want to.
According to Food and Agriculture Organization, food practitioners and investors should reorient their activities to increase the sustainable production and consumption of safe foods. The aim of the World Food Safety Day is to encourage everyone, from the producer to the consumer, to adopt and expect food safety standards along the food supply chain.
All right, if you're just joining us, the program is The Medley Show, and my name is Cecil, and we're talking food preservation, processing and preservation today. And I told you that our phone line is open for your text messages and WhatsApp only, 081 177 82020. And Chef Rashidat is my guest, and she's been teaching us a whole lot. I've been looking at your messages. Many of them are appreciating what you're doing. Many say they've learned a lot. Some would like to even meet you. Okay, we'll talk about that before the show runs out. So I've been taking messages from WhatsApp. Let me just take this last one, then I'll go to text messages. Right now, I'm trying to prepare jollof rice, but I don't know where. Seriously, who are you? Divine. You're telling me how to cook jollof rice. Go on YouTube and find that out. Sorry, we're talking about food preservation now, so let's just stick with that. Let me go to text messages and take some of the messages. So Rashidat, we'll try to run through these as quickly as possible so we can take as many as we can. All right, let's start from, please, any local way to preserve tomato again. Thank you. You told us about preserving tomato. Let me just recap what she said. Buy the tomatoes, wash it, boil it, grind it, boil it, and so that the moisture, the water will go off and it's very thick. Allow it to cool down. You put it in an airtight bottle. She mentioned you can use the bama, the bama you use for your salad, the bottle airtight. And when you do that, when you close it, you now put the bottle in a pot of little boiling water and leave it for about 3 minutes or so. And she says that's supposed to help you make it airtight. I'm a good student.
Very well.
All right, so that's it. For all the tomatoes people, that's your answer. All right, so let's go to, well done, Cecil. You're a great teacher. Okay, well, I'm not really the teacher. She's the teacher. All right. Please, if you said dry vegetables lost their nutrients, how about washed, dried bitter leaf? Washed, dried bitter leaf. That's one. Note that, please. Samuel Saswan says, I like this. I like this. Please, I need the contact of Rashida. Does she own a restaurant? Good afternoon, Medley. How do I warm my akara after frying it, and how do I preserve it? All right, let's start from washed, dried bitter leaf.
Yes, washed, dried bitter leaf. When you wash, definitely nutrient is going. We are washing our bitter leaves to reduce the bitterness.
Is it washing before or after mashing it?
Before mashing it, you have to wash to
Does
remove.
nutrient go off when I wash?
No.
Okay, that's still okay first.
Yes.
Okay.
But when you now use all the energy to squeeze, those green water, there is sometimes we wash to the extent of when you have it in your mouth, you will not feel any bitter taste. Like me, I don't even wash bitter leaf, because when I wash bitter leaf for you, it will just come out like spinach. You will not feel any bitter taste. So I don't wash it. So it's just best I give somebody.
Don't mash it.
I don't even try to wash at all, because I don't know what is wrong with these hands of mine. That if I wash bitter leaf, you don't get to feel any bitter taste.
And which
Maybe
is
it's
wrong because
just
the nutrients
something
you
that
said
has
it-
to do with nature.
Okay, maybe if I wash it, then the water I put it aside so I can drink it later.
It's medicinal, actually.
Yes.
It's medicinal. It's
Okay,
medicinal.
so what do you suggest
So
about
the washed dry one, if you have to preserve your bitter leaf, it's best when you pluck them, you just wash them, you dry. Not after washing, squeezing, then you not take it out to the sun. Everything is going.
All right, let's answer the question of how do I warm akara after frying it and preserve it? Answer that alongside masa.
Okay, akara masa, when you have prepared and you want to warm, for akara, you can return back in hot oil just for a few seconds and bring it out back.
Okay.
Then
Not
masa.
microwave.
Yeah, microwave too, fine. But we are just trying to
Look for simpler
yes,
ways.
simpler ways for people that doesn't have.
I know
all
you
those
answer
gadgets.
both just in
Yes.
case.
Yes,
Let's understand both.
So for masa, you can microwave or return it back into the masa pot with little oil, then allow it to heat up. It will not come back fresh.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that one. I will take a few questions. Then we'll look at some myth we learned about food preservation growing up. But let's quickly look at Adekole Stephen from Otukpo. Please, is there any way to preserve pounded yam? Pounded yam people. Benue people. I've seen up to 3 pounded yam preservation and all from Benue State. Now, well done. Pounded yam. Pounded yam. Okay. All right, so that's pounded yam. Good afternoon. My name is Musa from Adamawa State. I want to thank you and thank Rashidat for her explanation. I think I've learned a lot and I'm going to learn. Okay. I think I will learn more on how to use green bean. Okay, he wants to learn how to use it. Even though that's not a topic today, but she can touch on that. Good day, Cecile and Rashidat. I've learned a lot about tomatoes and fried rice. Hello, my name is Kauna Peter from Borno State. Thank you for the show. I'm enjoying it. Thank you. How can I preserve potato? Okay, now we have potato and pounded yam people.
Pounded yam, you can't preserve pounded yam. Not even in the freezer. Is a one-go food. Just make it and eat. Anytime you need it, pound it and eat.
Many people in my studio behind the camera, they're all doing thumbs up. Like, they like it fresh. And guess what? They are men. Because they know with them they pound them. Okay, continue. So it's
just best. No, you can't preserve
just
it.
do what you can consume. But in line with that, Gary Eba.
All those swallows, I would just advise.
Sister, welcome to Nigeria where we know how to warm Eba.
Yes, I've seen people warm Eba. Some people will even tell you they prefer the overnight Eba.
Okay, I don't know about that one. Serious. Okay.
There's more feeling than the one you prepare instantly.
Okay, well, you just advise, make what
just
you can.
make what you can consume. Anytime you need to.
You know, that reminds me, when we were growing up, when we are going to make a bowl, so whoever is going to make it, you will ask everybody, how much are you eating? Because we all have, we'll not say large, medium, or small. So when they start measuring, okay, what are you eating? Medium, large, small. Okay, all right. So now
at least then everything will get to finish.
Yeah, everything gets to finish. Because if I give you your medium and you don't finish it, that's trouble. Okay. I like the Medley show, and all she's saying is right. I'm Nelson from Ebonyi State. I'm also a cook. All right, Nelson, your colleague. Well done. I love your show, guys. You guys are going great. Please, how can I preserve beans? Have we talked about beans?
Not yet.
All right, just note beans. We'll take it. How do I deal with moi moi? All right, beans. Let's take beans as fresh, then we'll take moi moi.
As cooked. Okay, for beans, you can preserve in your freezer. Just ensure that there's no presence of water. It's either you preserve in an airtight container or a bag.
These are for people that have deep freezer.
Yes. While for people that doesn't have deep freezer, all you need to do when you get to the market, you buy beans without weevils.
Without weevils?
Yes.
Do people buy beans with weevils before?
Yeah, you know, sometimes you just go to the market and you just have 1 or 2 beans with weevil.
Buy without weevils.
When you buy without weevil, you just pack them. Just all those dry food items, preservation is in an airtight container. They tend to last longer when there is no air and moisture. Beans, I've seen where they say put pepper inside.
Yes, I was just going to ask
Yeah.
you. Put pepper. There is also this myth that say you can also put charcoal in it.
Yes, it doesn't work.
Hey.
It doesn't work.
Wonderful.
Definitely, if there is one weevil somewhere, they will multiply.
Are you serious? Okay, so now let's look at a couple of myths now. We have banana and avocado. When you put them together, they ripe faster. I don't know. I don't know. You must not. I don't think you've heard of banana and avocado. Okay, I really don't know how. Onions and potatoes being stored together.
They tend to spoil.
They
The
tend
potato tend to spoil.
True.
When you mix, when you put them together.
When you put them together, they actually do spoil.
Yes, potato tend to spoil
Oh.
easily.
No wonder my potatoes are going bad.
You have them in separate baskets.
They are in the same baskets. I just gave them. I said potato, this is your corner. Onions, this is your corner. But somehow those potato are this touching with the.
Onion is always releasing liquid. So when the liquid touches the potato tends to start spoiling and it tends to start sprouting. You now have farm automatically in your kitchen.
Okay. That's true. That's true. Okay. All right. Let's talk about microwaving. You know, there is that joke they say, when you don't have money, you say washing machine, they tear clothes. You say microwave they cause cancer. Okay. All right, tell us, microwaving our foods, are they really good? Are they recommended?
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, but those rays, the lights, shouldn't I be worried?
It depends on how often you do it. And it depends on, in this part of the world, we always tend to improvise everything. Microwave always come with its own plastic for use. But sometimes we even carry pot and put inside the microwave. I've seen. Just that, okay, I just want something fast. I don't want to transfer it into the microwave bowl. You just pick up something and just put inside. Okay,
let's take a pause from that one. Someone is asking about rice and beans cooked together. I can't find that question anymore. Someone is asking, okay, when rice and beans is cooked together, how can she preserve it? My name is Joy Harrison. If you allow tomato to cool and pack into a Bama bottle, if you put it in boiling water, won't the bottle break or the tomato get hot?
The bottle doesn't break.
Okay, yeah, that bottle
doesn't break.
And it's just for a few minutes.
Just
three minutes. Okay. All right. The topic is interesting. I'm learning a lot. How can I preserve pepper? Akwa Ibom, this is Joseph from Akwa Ibom. Preserving pepper and tomatoes, are they almost the same?
The same. You can do the same for both.
All right. Good. You are doing well, Cecil. And multiple thumbs up to you, Rashida, for those tips, especially the fried rice tips. I hope I shall have the honor of eating your dishes someday, somewhere. Okay. All right.
Of course.
She said, of course. All right. Okay, someone is admiring. Okay, thank you. Guide people on processed food against ulcer. All right, just note that maybe when we get back from our next feature break, we might talk about it if we have that time. Please, how can we preserve already made snacks like meat pie, beef roll, and others? Looking for a chef teacher. This is Mike. All right, preserving meat pie and those other snacks.
Meat pie, snacks, all of those snacks should be preserved in the freezer.
Yes.
Freezer. Before it can be preserved before baking, after baking. You can preserve them before you bake or after baking. Then, if you want to preserve after baking, you don't bake 100%. So that when you reheat, you tend to have them fresh, as if they are just immediately prepared.
Okay. How many days a cooked akpu? How many days will the cooked akpu stay before it gets spoiled? Well, akpu is different from the pounded yam.
Yes.
And I guess apple is more strong and stubborn. So
it lasts longer.
It lasts longer. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it lasts longer. And even it depends on where people, where you keep them. Because sometimes it's not about the level of spoilage, it's the place where they are being kept.
Okay, the place where they are being kept. I think putting eba in boiling water for some minutes. Okay, this is Harlan from Edo State. Harlan from Edo State. Okay, well, putting eba. You say you've seen people do that. Yes, I also know about that. I think everybody in Nigeria, almost every home, we don't know that one by now. So it's our way. Don't worry. In fact, chef, please pause on your own for that one. Now we are going to still keep putting our eba in hot water. Then we'll stir it later.
Turn it.
Then go still day or 10. Okay, my name is Mela Davis from FCT, a frequent viewer of this program. I know you. Well done job. Your choice of topic for discussion is always apt. Please, is it healthy to preserve akpu for months? Hey, hey, for months. How about now?
It's not healthy. It's not healthy.
It's not healthy. Even if you drop it in the freezer?
Except you drop it in the freezer. But the
yeah,
way
but maybe you cook it halfway, so
halfway,
you're not fully cooked. So when you bring it out, you now actually...
You now complete the cooking process.
All right, so there are many ways of preserving our food. I mean, they have the drying method, we have the salting, we have the...
Canning.
The what? Canning. We have the canning,
Vacuum
we have...
packing.
There is this fermentation. I don't know if we do fermentation of...
It depends. It depends.
All right.
Fermentation is mostly for drinks.
All right. So we visited actually Sam Ben, one of the Medley crew members. They visited the Kado fish market here in Abuja, trying to find out how fish is being preserved. You know, the dry fish and all the preservation of fish. He went in search at the Kado market. Let's have a look at it, and then we'll take the rest of your questions if we can.
I'm here at Kado Fish Market in Abuja to discover the ways of smoking and drying fish. Are they the same or are they done differently? Let's find out. I'm here with the chairman of the Fresh Fish Association of Nigeria, Abuja chapter, Mr. Aminu Adamu, and he's going to walk us through the processes of making sure that the fresh fish which you just saw is killed and eventually dried up. So, Mr. Adamu, could you tell us the processes of the full process from after the fish is bought?
This fish, everybody know, come from southwest. We buy it from there, sell it. We have retailer. After buying, they are going to take it to processing units. From there is people. Their work is to clean up the fish and dress it, turn it, put the stick, and bend the fish. We have another part. They are on to smoke. They will take it inside and smoke. Then to take it to the shop and sell.
We have different categories. We have asa, we have catfish, we have mangala, we have ibi. It can last a month or more than even, it can pass a month to sell. And it depends on the quantity, it depends on the size, and it depends on the quality.
As we depart the market, I hope we have been able to educate you on the ways fish is smoked and dried and how long it can last. Back to you, Cecil.
All right, thank you very much, Semben, for that one. And I see that you are all very interested in this program, and I see many of your messages here. Everyone wants me to ask their question, and many of you are also appreciating. Rashida, there are many people saying well done and thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, but unfortunately, we can't take these messages now. We are out of time. But, guys, beg Rashida, tell her to come back next week. And let's finish this off. Rashida, can we do this again next week?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we have more than 150 messages we've not taken. So we'll try to take as many as possible. All right, so you can still send your text messages. I'll put them together. When Rashida comes on next week, we will take the rest of it. All right, from me, it's bye-bye. Rashida, thank you very much. It was really nice doing this with you.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'll try that tomato thing.
Yeah, and you won't regret it.
I won't regret it.
You have tomato all year round.
If you've learned anything from what she said, try it at home and give me the feedback, and I'll read it on the program next week. From myself and the entire production crew of the Medley Show, it's bye-bye.